I don't have a problem with the guy. I offered many times, bro, you want to have a debate? We'll give all the money we make to the Cauliflower Club that you love. You're always promoting Cauliflower Alley. Every dime we make, we'll give to them, Jim. Nope, because it'll kill the gimmick of how much he hates Vince Russo.
All right, let's talk about DLo Brown saying that Vince Russo and Jim Cornette are more alike than they are different, and thinks they can do great things if they work together in an interview with Podcast Heat. Vince Russo, you lay out the scenario of, and to DLo's point, both of you have a lot of things to say about the current product that are from a standpoint of very heavy criticism because of the type of shift that we see in the current product. So with that being said, with both of you trying to say, hey, let's make wrestling great again, ladies and gentlemen. If that were the case, and you were paid big money to collab with Jim
listen, Chris,
what would the price tag be, Vince Russo?
I swear to God, people, how many years must I go through this? And I don't know what language I'm speaking that people don't understand. How many times have you heard me say, I do not like Eric Bischoff? How many times have you heard me say that? How many times have you heard me say, I do not like Paul Heyman? How many times have you heard me say that? Those are two people in the wrestling business I do not like. Never one time has it come out of my mouth, I don't like Jim Cornette. I never, ever said that. Ever. Okay? You people don't understand, bro. They think it's a gimmick. They think it's an act. Okay? Jim Cornette has a problem with people from the East Coast. Jim Cornette used to refer to me as a Yankee. That's what he used to call me all the time. And I used to say, Jim, I don't know if you think that's an insult to me. Our baseball team is called the Yankees, Jim. That's not an insult to me. In Jim Cornette's mind, bro, there is still a civil war going on. So right off the bat, he does not like people from New York. Okay, number one. Number two. A
lot of people don't like people from New York, though.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people. Number two, he does not like entertainment in wrestling. He's the guy that wants the 20-minute wrestling match, okay? People have to stop. I don't have a problem with Jim Cornette. I don't know how many times I have to say that. Jim Cornette has a problem with me. I don't have a problem with the guy. I offered many times, bro, you want to have a debate? We'll give all the money we make to the Cauliflower Club that you love. You're always promoting Cauliflower Alley. Every dime we make, we'll give to them, Jim. Nope, because it'll kill the gimmick of how much he hates Vince Russo. I'm just so tired. I do not dislike. Bro, you got to understand something with me. When I look at Jim Cornette, I'm just being totally honest here, Chris. When I look at Jim Cornette, you know what I see? Bro, he's a goof. Like, Jim Cornette is a goof. To me, the guy is a goof. Eric is somebody I really don't like. I mean, from a personal standpoint, I don't like him. I don't like what he represents. I don't like the way he carries himself. Jim is a goof. I literally don't have a problem with Jim Cornette for the 59,000th time, bro. I don't know how many more. If I personally did not like the guy, I would say I don't like the guy. To me, the guy is a goofball. And I have no bad feelings. So, and bro, all the stuff he says to me about me for years and years and years and years, it doesn't bother me because I think the guy's a goof. If I took the guy seriously, maybe it would bother me. I just don't know how many times we got to go through this. So you don't have to pay me nothing, Chris. You don't have to pay me anything, okay? The answer is 0.
Okay, so after all that, cutting a promo.
I don't know. Why do people want to believe I've got this hatred? He's a goofball, bro. I can't hate him because he's a goofball.
I got you, man. Listen, man. I think it's a running gimmick that you can never shake off, because as long as you're in the wrestling community, they're going to tag that on you. So after all of that, what a listener is going to say is, so you're saying there's a chance? EC3, what's saying?
I'm going on the record here, and I'm going public on here like I've been on the record in public for the last since the day I left the WWE, 1999, 25 years. I will appear on any show at any forum whatsoever, one-on-one with Jim Cornette. I am not the issue. I am not the problem. Jim Cornette will not do it because hating Vince Russo is part of his act and his gimmick and his folklore, and he's got the cult of Cornette, and God forbid he were ever to have a conversation with Vince Russo. That's why it will never happen.
I think that would revolutionize the rest. Talk about something that will go down in the annals of pro wrestling history. You got Hogan and Andre. You got Rock Hogan. And then you have Bischoff coming out, shaking the hand of Vince McMahon. And then you have the alliance of Vince Russo and Jim Cornette, man. I think the world wants to see that. EC3, I'm sure you got a lot to share.
I have so much to add. And first thing, when you said the alliance, I'm like, well, we did have to team with the Soviet Union in World War II, so stranger things have happened.
That's
and
true.
we, like Patton said, we probably should have just kept going to Moscow, but I'll let the history subside. Recently on the brand, Vince Russo's brand, on 3 brand, I was kind of ranting and raving about something, and it was something I heard on Cornette's podcast, and I mentioned I'm like, you guys are a lot more alike than you would think, at least when it comes to like booking. So I'm glad kind of DLo brought that up. I don't know what prompted it. And it's not like you have totally opposing viewpoints from the pure wrestling to the entertainment spectrum. But when you mentioned like everything needs to be a 20-minute match, he's the only podcast I'll listen to because I get a lot of good like old school booking strategies when I hear him break some certain things down. And I'm a polymath, man. I'm always learning. And a lot of the times he's criticizing the length of things, especially with like AEW and like, why did this need to be 25 minutes? Why did this need to be 17? So I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I think his mentality would be building 2 20-minute matches that have circumstances and payoffs and things like that, which I think Vince can agree with in that retrospect. And it's like oil and water, man. You got Captain America and you got Iron Man, and sometimes you have to have that little civil war. Granted, so much has happened, and we can't go back and fix the past, and this would never happen. But I do think they have opposing views that are very aligned, if that makes sense. And I enjoy Cornette's booking strategies. I enjoy his goofy jokes. I enjoy his his ad reads, and I enjoy when he just hoops all over like things that suck, because he's right and Vince is right when he's pooping on things that suck. And like, there's a lot, I think, that collaborative, if the past hadn't happened and in a different world, if we're in a different dimension, it would make some compelling wrestling television if there was a collaboration where both needs were met, but they both weren't so type A where they can give leeway to each other when it mattered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. I think that's enough to close the chapter on that one, man. That was really good.